Ryan here, setthepacetriathlon.com, and in this video we're going to do some quick tips talking about body markings and race numbers. Go through it pretty quick, but the old question always pops up. It's like, why do we need to do this? So we'll go a little bit into that and a little bit of what's kind of changed with the whole pandemic situation, and maybe what will stay and what will change over time. So let's dig right into it. Body markings. Number one, they exist for quick identification for athletes. True, on the bike you have helmet stickers and bike stickers on the bike, and on the run you've got your race bib. On the swim though, it's a little bit difficult if you're wearing wetsuits. Sometimes they're around the calf and sometimes they don't. So when you're in your wetsuit, all you got is your timing chip. So in the past it existed. So when you're running around, you're riding your bike or you're running, they can immediately look at you and it's written on you, so it's not something like a race bib or something you can get confused or something like that. So something happened, they can identify you quickly. Number two, associate you with your gear. So if you have it written on your arm, especially smaller races like Ironman races, they have a little wristband with a number written on there too. But in races, if it's written on your arm, they match you with your bike, so you're not taking someone else's bike home. So that's always kind of nice. Number three, easier to track your age group on the course. Some races do this, some races don't, where they write your age on your calf or your age group. It is, I will say, super convenient. So if you're running along, you see somebody in front of you or somebody passes you, you know if they're in your age group or not. You know, if you know, pick it up, pass them, or do whatever, or let them go, and it's not that big of a deal. So something to be aware of if you're out there being competitive in your age group. Some races do, some races don't, so it just depends. Number four, most races use a Sharpie. So, and number five, it kind of ties in, they have products like Triathlon. So I like Triathlon because you can determine where you put it. I have my race kit comes down to my elbow, so if they write it on your arm, it's going to be hidden the entire race, and it bleeds over into the fabric. I've also had people unfortunately write on my kit, which is not cool because those are not cheap. So I use Triathlon so I can put it exactly where I want to. Sometimes I'll have to write on my calf if I don't, if they don't advertise what all the information they're going to put on there. But usually it's going to be a Sharpie, or you can bring a Sharpie and have someone do it for you when you find out where they're going to mark you. That way you can put it where you want, and it's not a big deal. So Sharpies or Tri-Tats are kind of the method these days. Number six, cleaning can be difficult, especially Tri-Tats. I found that like rubbing alcohol on the pad takes it off pretty quick. That same thing with Sharpies. So it's just with Sharpies, it can get kind of messy, and with Tri-Tats too. So it's just make sure that you have the right gear. If you're just using soap and water, it can be a painful process, and you can scrub off a lot more than just the markings. So you gotta be careful with cleaning. Number seven, COVID canceled that for 2021. So, and I'll say 2022, there was no events, but 2021 to minimize contact with new people and have body markings, and it actually worked. So some races have just kept that, and were like, we're not doing markings, there's really no point. And some races have kept doing it. Now there's some that still don't, smaller races, maybe not use timing chips and that type of thing. So it kind of helps to identify you as you're crossing the line, so people can write down a piece of paper when you cross. So just be aware, make sure you read the athlete guide if they have one, or the race instructions if they're doing body marking or not. Number eight, USAT requires it. So if it's a USAT sanctioned event, more likely nowadays they're going to require body marking, so just be ready for that. Number nine, helps with identification for race photos. So if your bib's hidden or something like that, you're on the bike and they can't find your sticker, they can look, and like Ironman races, they try to identify you by your race number and they put it out there. So it kind of helps with identification for race photos. So kind of added benefit. Number 10, solid backup if you lose your timing chip. So you come out of the swim and you lost your timing chip, they can easily identify it's like, oh, you're number 592. Let's get your timing chip, or write that down, and we gave you one, and you're out of there. So it's an easy way to identify you if you do lose your timing chip, you don't have any other markings on you. Number 11, helps with a medical emergency. It kind of goes back to identifies you quickly. So if they just look on your arm and find out who you are, that's pretty quick, as opposed to maybe looking up your timing chip, or trying to find your race bib or something like that if you're on the run or something like that. So it helps with emergency, so it's not totally useless and pointless. Number 12, a full wetsuit covers legs and arms, usually what's marked. So kind of your discussion against having body markings and why do we need them. If you're covered up, then for the swim, it really doesn't help you out whatsoever. And usually a full sleeve wetsuit will kind of, even Tri-Tats, body markings, it'll kind of rub it off, so then it's kind of pointless anyway, so, whatever. Number 13, we have bike frame and helmet stickers. So helmet stickers, you have stickers on the bike frame. But if there's no markings on you whatsoever, potentially you could have someone else doing that in your helmet and bike with the stickers on it. So, gotta be careful there. Number 14, run, you have the number on your bib. So if you're running along, but it is easy to switch up bibs, get the wrong bib or something like that, so who knows. Or if you lose the bib, or who knows what, it could blow away in transition, I don't know, whatever. Maybe you wore it on the swim accidentally and it got all crinkled up and you can't read it anymore. So on the run, you do have the bib, but if something happens to it, they have, marking you gives you another way to identify who you are. Number 15, most races have timing chips now, so that is kind of convenient. Like running races, the timing chips like built into the bibs nowadays. So basically you don't need anything else. And running races, usually they don't mark your number on there anyway. They just, you got your bib, your timing chip, and that's who you are. So, triathlon's a little bit different, I guess. Number 16, with long sleeve tri-suits, arm sleeves, and calf sleeves, no real estate left. So if you're running, especially if it's a cooler and you got arm sleeves, you got calf sleeves, you're wearing long leggings or something like that, there's no real estate left. They used to ride them on your hands and stuff, and all that stuff is covered, but just nowadays, it's kind of hard. You're running out of real estate to really be able to mark people, so it's always kind of a problem. Number 17, 2022 appears it's at the discretion of the race director. So while we're rolling through this, navigating a pandemic, some races kind of like, they just ride them on your arms. Some are like both arms, both legs, age group, and the calf. Ironman races, pretty much, I was doing Ironman Des Moines, and I do not recall that they were doing body marking at all. I did tri-tats just to be on the safe side, but, it used to be in the old days they marked your arms, and then your age group and calf, and then they went just arms, and with the pandemic, they're just like, we don't need to do it at all. Doing 2022, doing Ironman Des Moines. Trying to recall, I don't remember having any body markings when we went in. So you've got your wristband, it's got your number on there, so they always check that to make sure that you matched everything. But other than that, we didn't do it. But I've done some local races here. We did both arms, both legs, and number on the calf. Very strict to U.S. safety guidelines. So just kind of depends on the race director, the race, the company, all that kind of stuff that goes into it, the timing system, kind of what their decision is. As always, read the athlete guide if they have one, read the race information, and see or ask questions if you don't see that information anywhere of, what are we doing about body markings? Do we need it? Do I need to bring a Sharpie to have someone else do it? Do I need tri-tats? Whatever. So make sure you're aware and ready to go. Hopefully this helped you out. I know I went through kind of quick. If you got any questions, put in the comments. I'll get notifications. You're seeing this on Facebook. Stars things coming up, so give it some stars or something like that. Give it a like, subscribe on YouTube, hit the notification button, put comments if you got questions. With that, I'll wrap up this video. We'll see you in the next video. Happy training, and we'll see you on race day.